So I bought the Radeon RX 9070 XT, in particular this Power Color Reaper version of the card. This unassuming little GPU is the most powerful of AMD's RDNA 4 lineup with 64 compute units, 16 gigs of GDDR6 VRAM and a 304W TDP. The Power Color Reaper adheres to the base spec and manages to be the smallest 9070 XT I've seen on the market. It measures only 286mm in length and is only 2 slots thick, no overhang. It sounds like a disaster waiting to happen. Well, not really. When left to its own devices, it hovered around 65 degrees Celsius and tends to be at or below 1900 RPM. Not for quite as color variable, but considering its size, that is mighty impressive. This could be due to Power Color utilizing the Honeywell PTM 7950 even on the base model 9070 XT. I can definitely recommend this if you don't care about how the GPU looks or if you need a small one. But if you do care about looks, then the card is an all-black affair with only a hint of red coming from a Power Color logo on the fans. The fan shroud is plastic and plain, but the backplate is metal. What's new for RDNA 4 designs is the AMD Radeon branding, which I assume is now a requirement, much like how Nvidia enforces GeForce RTX branding on ARB cards. At the end, there is a large flow-through area that allows air to go through the card. There are no RGB elements or dual BIOS, it is a purely functional design. In the Adrenaline software, I could only push the power limit up by 10%, up to about 336 watts, so it's still below the 340 watts of other premium models. I also did some very conservative tweaking with voltages and clocks, which didn't do much. The most I saw spike was 450 watts, which didn't trip my A50 or PSC thankfully, but if you do overclock a 340 watt versions with AAA pins, just be careful. The biggest improvement from RDNA 3 to RDNA 4 is, of course, ray tracing performance. In Cyberpunk 2077 at 1440p with the ray tracing ultra settings, the 9070 XT can achieve around 50 FPS without upscaling, though realistically it did drop well into the 40s. It should only take some FSR quality to achieve 60 FPS, which is mighty impressive for a Radeon card. Not even the 7900 XTX could achieve that. There's also FSR 4, which is exclusive to the RX 9070 series and should deliver a massive quality improvement over FSR 3 using a brand new AI-based upscaler. I only own one game where this has been implemented, being Marvel Rivals, and I did notice some improvements in quality when enabling FSR 4. Since the game isn't massive and doesn't include big releases like Cyberpunk or GTA 5 Enhanced, it's not something that everyone will benefit from, so it isn't a defining feature, at least not now. Hopefully newer games releasing this year will have native FSR 4 implementations, which will give more of an incentive for going with RDNA 4, kind of like DLSS 1. What should be an advantage over the GeForce competition should be its price. The MSRP of the 9070 XT is £150 or $150 less than its direct competitor, the GeForce RTX 5070 Ti coming in at £570 or $600. However, ever since the first day of availability, it has been impossible to find it at that price. When I bought mine on Friday the 8th, it was £630 for this Power Color Reaper card, which is meant to be a base model, and I bought it from Overclockers UK. Right now, that same card on the same website is now £650, and at that point it becomes much less of a value-oriented choice. And that's for the cheapest models. The Power Color Hellhound model is going for £680, and the Red Devil at a hellish £720. That is a significant deviation from the original MSRP for an OC model that will likely only be 3% faster. Just don't be stupid with your money. That's it for this video. Like and subscribe for more RDNA 4 videos, and I'll see you in the next one. Soon, Half-Life 2 RTX Remix will be out, and I'm curious to see if we could get it running on Radeon cards at all. Stay tuned.